Hey, what's up, Power Trader? You want to invest in the stock market. You got your account open and you're ready. But the question is, what do you do? Do you buy the stock? Do you buy the option? Do you buy ETF? Do you buy index? Which one is right and which one is right for you? Well, I'm going to be breaking it down right here, right now. So stay watching. Hey, what's up, Power Trader? Welcome back to the channel. I'm stock market coach and option trader Jason Brown. And in this video, I want to talk about the different type of investment options, no pun intended, that you have. You see, you have money, you have your account open, but what do? Do you buy the stock? Do you buy the option? Do you buy the ETF? Or do you buy the index? Well, I want to break down each one and talk about why you might do one over the other. So let's start with the most basic. You just want to buy some stock. Well, a few reasons why you may just want to buy the stock is, number one, you might want to be an owner in the company. You might want to actively own that one share because you feel a sense of pride, or maybe you work for the company, or you just love what the company does and you want to own one share of stock. You also may want to own stock for the benefits that it gives you in addition to making money. So what do I mean by that? Let's just say you own one share of Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett company stock. Well, those who own, I believe, the Class A and the Class B share of the stock, you get to go to the annual investor meeting, which is a big week-long party with Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, and it's just turns into a whole investment summit. And you only can get invited if you own one of the shares of stock. Also, you might want to own the stock because you don't want to worry about any time decay, which we'll talk about when it comes to options. But you just want to put some money to work. You want to know that you're invested and you believe in where the company is going long term, and you want to participate in those potential gains. And so therefore, you may just want to buy the stock. Now, let's talk about option number two, which is options, okay? You may want to buy an option versus buying the stock. Well, why would you want to do that? Well, with an option, you're actually controlling the stock and you don't actually own the stock. So one thing I didn't mention previously, by owning the stock, you also get to participate in dividends. But when you buy an option, you don't actually own the stock. You just have the right to buy the stock at some date in the future at some specific price, which means you don't get to participate in any dividends. You don't get to participate in any voting rights. You also don't get to participate in any shareholder meetings because you don't actually own any shares. You just have the right, again, to buy those shares. But why would you want to own the option? If you have $1,000 and there's a stock that's $100, you can only buy 100 shares. But with that same $1,000, it's possible to control 5,000 shares. So you can have 5 times the leverage using the option. So if you believe a stock is getting ready to move and you want to take advantage of that move and you want to get perhaps some exponential growth, you may want to control the stock versus owning it, especially if you have no intentions in investing with that company for the long term. Now, this isn't a video about the pros and cons of owning stock versus option because, we all know that options could expire and you could lose 100% of your account or 100% of your money. There's different nuances that go into options, but I just want to let you know some of the reasons why you might want to go with an option over the stock. Now let's talk about an ETF. Why might you pick an ETF over the option and over the stock? Well, the ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund, and we did a video about that. We'll pop a link up here on the page if you want to go watch that video about what an ETF is. But big picture, an ETF is basically saying, I like Apple, I like Facebook, I like Amazon. These are tech stocks, but you don't necessarily want to pick which one is going to be the winner. So you're going to go with an ETF. You're going to go with a fund that has some of the or all of the tech stocks that you're interested in. And so you basically get little fractions or a piece of all those stocks as part of a bigger fund. And so instead of trying to pick an individual winner, you're picking a sector. You're saying the tech sector is going to be hot this week or this year. And so you may want to put your money into the sector. Now, some of the benefits of going with the ETF is similar to that of a stock. You get to hold it. There's no expiration date. You get to stay along for the long-term ride. You technically are not an owner in the company, you're an owner in that ETF. So you don't actually get to vote. You don't actually get to go to any shareholder meetings or things like that, but you do have the benefit of the longevity of owning a fraction of that company by owning the ETF, if that makes sense. Now, why might you want to go with an index fund over an ETF? Well, an ETF tracks an industry or a sector. When you look at an index fund, you may want to track the overall market, which means you may pick an index fund that mimics the S&P 500. So for example, you can't actually go and buy the S&P 500, but you can buy an index fund that tracks or has majority of the stocks that are in the S&P 500, so that index fund will behave like the S&P 500. Well, the S&P 500 is made up of multiple sectors. It's made up of tech, consumer staples, utilities, and a whole lot more. And so now, instead of you trying to pick a winning sector, you're saying, I want a piece of every sector that is in the S&P 500, and I want to invest in something that mimics the S&P 500. So the benefits of that is now you're kind of diversifying even more. The ETF, you were diversifying because it's going to be a collection of stocks, but they're going to be all in the same sector. Well, the index fund is going to be a collection of stocks, but there are going to be a collection of multiple sectors. So you're diversifying even more. So those are some of the benefits of going with the index fund. However, you still don't own the stock, so you can't vote. There are no shareholder rights. You don't get to go to any of the fun events or any shareholder meetings or anything like that. But you do have the peace of mind of knowing you're getting a piece of every sector, and you just betting that the US economy, for example, just using S&P 500, you're just betting on the economy as a whole. You're betting on the index fund as a whole. And the reason I say that the USA is because the S&P 500 tracks the 500 USA stocks, right? And so you're just betting that USA is going to do well and majority of the sectors are going to continue to move up. So I hope this video has been helpful for you in breaking down, should I invest using a stock, an option, an ETF, or should you use an index fund? Now, if you want more information about how to really decipher each one and if it's right for you, we break all of this down inside of Power Trades University. But now I'd like to hear from you. Let me know in the comments, which one do you resonate with more? And before we wrap up, I want to take a comment from one of our previous videos from one of our YouTube viewers. Steven Shoemaker says, I want to run an option. I just don't have any idea. I was thinking about Ford. I have about 1K to spend. So Steven, thanks for your comment. First thing I would say is, why do you want to run an option? Matter of fact, if I were to go even a step further, I would say, what does run an option mean? I don't know if that means you want to buy an option, you want to sell an option. I don't know what want to run an option means. So you want to make sure you understand the stock market lingo, because if you call your broker or you went online and tried to place an order to run an option, you won't really see that on the order screen. Also, why do you want to do it in Ford? Do you think Ford is bullish? Do you think Ford is bearish? So do you want call options because you think it's going up, or do you want put options because you think it's going down? So we need a little bit more information to be able to try to educate you and guide you in the direction that you want to go. Also, you have 1K to spend. Well, what's your goals with that 1K? Are you trying to invest in Ford for the long term? Are you trying to take advantage of short-term price movement and swing trade? Are you trying to day trade? Are you just trying to get 4 or 5x your return? Because we just talked about you can get a 4 or 5x return by going with the option versus buying the stock. I don't know what your full thesis is, and so we need more information to try to help you with that. But I hope by answering and breaking down your question, it allows some of our other viewers to really think about their investment. Why do they want this specific stock? Why do they want to spend $1,000? What are they trying to take advantage of? The sector, the stock, or exponential growth by using options? What is the big picture and some of the small pictures of why you're investing and why you pick that stock, so that you can fine tune what you're doing and you can go from gambling to being a confident trader and investor. Hey, I'm Jason Brown, stock market coach and options trader. Thanks for watching, and I'm signing off saying, you never go broke taking a profit. I'll see you in the next video.